You can get cheaper than a $40 cook set. This is nice, but it might not be worth it. Look online. It has a nice cover, but are you going to fry eggs in this? No. No, that would be silly, wouldn't it? You don't need a drip coffee maker, but you could bring little packets and mix them with your hot water. But I like to make good coffee if I can, and I'm still learning with this one. But I'm working on it. Double wall titanium, double wall titanium. Don't cook with it. Just use it to drink. I heard they explode. Bring koozies to separate your sharp objects or scratchable objects like the inside of the pot and the gas inside of the pot, so it's not scratching up your surface and making it stick worse. Use koozies or rags. It's 15 degrees here, 15 degrees. Could you imagine sitting out at Lambeau Field with your Blaze Orange on and a beer, a cold beer at 15 degrees? Could you imagine? No. Conspicuous consumption. Conspicuous consumption. Really conspicuous consumption. Really conspicuous consumption. Did I mention that you can hook up a water filter to this and you can filtrate your water so it's pure and would work real nice in a glass of whiskey? Howdy. Howdy. This is John, and we are going to go over cooking gear for a, let's say, a motorcycle-centric trip. We're going to be on a 7-day trip next summer. I'm doing some planning and I'm kind of documenting what I'm doing, and maybe it'll help out others. And today is 15 degrees here in Wisconsin. Yeah, yeah. And it was just almost 60 like a week ago. And then we got this cold snap, and I think we're in for it for the next few weeks to months. And so I'm going over things in the house here, and sorry about that we're not in a wilderness experience. But I'm going to go over some things that I acquired for my motorcycle camping trips, and in that I'm going to go over each individual item and tell you how I got it and why I got it. And much of it isn't calculated, it's by luck. So let's get into it. Is how much cooking are you going to do? How much cooking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner are you going to do? And on a 7-day trip, I guess I'm going to be all over the place. So I'm going to prepare for cooking a little breakfast, coffee minimal, probably never cook a lunch, and always cook a supper at camp, more or less every day. And that might be on the fire, and that might be on the cook set. So I'm going to have some latitude here, and I brought some items that I bring on every trip, and we'll get into it. Let's do it. So, what I got, let's start. I've got the UTAD stove. This is the UTAD stove. I've got a link to all my gear at the bottom. The UTAD. This is a packable, it's a larger packable stove. It's pretty cool though. It's bigger. It fits my pot bigger, or better. And we've talked about this before. And this unit I like a lot. I could get a smaller one. Sometimes I think I should, but you do what you want. This one's real sturdy, it's bigger, it's more manageable and more efficient than some of those little ones. So if you're not backpacking, why mess with the small stuff? So I've got that. UTAD stove. A while back, cook set wise, I discovered at a local outfitter this Snow Peak set. And my Snow Peak set was like an off item for this outfitter. This outfitter more or less geared towards boaters, canoers, kayakers, yachters. And this product really didn't fit his mix, and I suspect that he got it from his distributor or whatever as a product sample. So he had this lone Snow Peak set, and the Snow Peak double wall titanium. This is all titanium stuff now. Snow Peak 450 titanium cup and a Snow Peak 1400 milliliter set. And this is a you can comfortably cook 35 ounces in here, 1 liter. You don't want to go over that, otherwise you'll be spilling. But I got this. I suspect, I don't quite remember, but I suspect I got that for like 20 bucks, all of it. And this cup alone sells for like 40 bucks. This set alone sells for like 40 bucks. So it was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I didn't really know it at the time because I wasn't in the market necessarily for high-end camping gear. But I got this, and if you look online, it's like, this stuff is like, oh, if you're like a conspicuous consumer and you want like the coolest stuff, then this would be one of the choices. The good thing about it, really light. This weighs like something under 9 ounces. This weighs 6 ounces. And the beauty of it, you don't get the taste from the metallic like you would through aluminum. You have no non-stick to deal with. You have a very lightweight and thought-out piece where you can take and drop your, I always put a rag and drop your gas in. It's right there. Handy. The nice thing with the smaller stove is that you could put that stove with this set and kind of have it all there. But I put other things like coffee filters, some aluminum foil, things like that, a little pot holder because these get hot. So I got a little pot holder for that. And one thing you have to be careful about with this type of set is you're not going to want to high heat cook and go away, or any kind of decent flame. You are going to burn your food for sure. And if you like macaroni and cheese burnt on the bottom of your titanium top, and you're going to look at that black for the rest of your life after you just spent 40 bucks on that. So you want to be very careful. If you're boiling water, it's no big deal, but I'm going to use it for mostly water. I'm not a water boiler, I'm a coffee maker. A water boiler are those people that boil water and then they pour it in a sack with a bunch of freeze-dried something in it, like Mountain House. And those people don't cook, they mix. But I like to cook. So typically I'll use this in the morning. I'll use my MSR drip for my coffee, heat up my water, do a little pour over. I need to work on that. Did you know that coffee temperature makes a huge difference? You should be pouring your coffee water over your grounds at about 200 degrees, 190, 200. Did you know that? Well, maybe we get a thermometer, maybe. So, another item, my Hydro Pack. This is a cool unit. I bought it because I thought I'd get like a water purifier, and I still intend to do so. I have the link to that. The brand doesn't come to mind at the moment. But this folds down really nice and small, and it'll hold 2,000 milliliters, so it's fairly sizable. And what I'd use this for is, let's say I did have a good water source that I could get water at my campsite, and I could use it for coffee. If I didn't have a good water source, I would probably have a bottle of water stowed for that purpose that I purchased at like a gas station, grocery store. This unit would be more for cleaning water, washing water, things like that, and it would pack down into this small package. It fits right inside that cup, and that works out well. I like that. Another item I bring a lot is little koozies, and I plan to make koozies for the pot out of Reflectex. And I don't know if I'll make a video on that, but maybe. But I'm going to make a Reflectex pot koozie of sorts, and it'll wrap around the pot and then go on the lid as well. So if you do have a meal and you don't want to waste your gas, which is expensive, then that'll keep it warm for many, many minutes, an hour. So that is a project I'm going to work on. I bring, you know, different size koozies, and this one fits nice on that. Right there, I could make one of those Reflectex koozies for that too, but I think I'm going to just stick to this. Maybe not though. So that is the items I most use, and about the coffee. I have coffee filters. I bring some tin foil, and I also bring a little box that I started, and I've also got a little tin foil in there, more than a little actually, and we're going to talk about that in a second. I've got some rags, I've got my adapter for my propane, you can see that on my links too. I've got a propane cap in case I have to buy another unit, and so both my propanes, if I bring them, will have a decent cap. I've got spoons in here, a little plastic bag, and I got a nice set and some garbage bags. And that's all good stuff. I bring 2 of these in case one breaks, or if somebody shows up and they want to eat. So that works out well. This is all waterproof. It's a great little package for me. And really, there's not much else to talk about. But one thing I wanted to talk about a little more in depth is you can really back off a lot of this stuff if you're going to have a fire every night. And one of the things that I do at home, in camp, just about any place, is I'll take aluminum foil and I'll wrap like vegetables, like potatoes, carrots, onions, a little butter, oil, and wrap that up and then put it over the fire or in the coals or right next to the fire and let it warm. And it's truly the easiest and best result meal you're going to run across. And tin foil is very packable. This would represent one meal. So you need to bring, if you're going to do this 3 times on a 7-day trip, you're going to have to bring 3 times this amount, but just watch how small this wraps up. And I'm just going to keep this in my stuff again. But, you know, you got 3 of these, and you didn't want to bring a pot, you want to just cook over the fire. You got 3 of those, and you got that. That's all you have. And you don't need the cook, or you don't need the stove. You don't need a stove. All you need is this. And maybe this little goodie box where you keep all that stuff. So you got this and this. Because you have the time to make a fire, you have the time to have a little fun around the fire. And that's the whole point. I plan on riding probably from, let's say, 9:30 a.m. till about maybe 2. And that will give me a couple, 300 miles, something like that. That's plenty. I don't want to go beyond that. And then I can hang out by the fire. Then I can go see some sights. I can go see where Sven Johnson first launched his first boat in the St. Croix River. But, yeah. So this is another option. This is minimalist. The backpackers might not want to spend the time on that sort of thing, but in reality, That is a very small package. So you probably want to bring water. You probably want to bring the rags. So that would be the complete package there. That goes in there. So yeah, tinfoil, another one. It's all good. It works great. And I guess my next point is, cleanup too. If you're using tinfoil, you're not cleaning up. You're not washing nothing. You are minimally getting a pan dirty or something like that, or whatever you're eating off of. And a little trick with that, you can get yourself a little plate, or you can use a Frisbee or whatever, but use some parchment paper. Parchment paper is made for baking. It's made for lining pans, like for even a lasagna. And it is good for, let's say, up to 420 degrees. You don't want to put it over an open flame, but you can put it, let's say, you can line a pot with it. You can actually line your pot with it. You can line your plate with it. And that's my pen too. You can line your plate with this parchment paper and then eat out of it. It's fine. And then, no more cleanup. 1-0.